It's something else. Now they're all in. The light flashes, the field stands, set, ready. Off and racing, not a bad start. Lucifer's Lady dropping back shortly after. Likewise, Spellborn finding itself near the tail end of the field. And back there as well as Like Clockwork. Winning the start very comfortably though. Media Mogul, the stablemate, whips across Bannard. And so the McCall of pair off. Down on the inside, Media Mogul joined by Bannard. A length and a half to Quokka Rocker. Jimmy Angel fourth on the inside. Fifth is God's Rapture at the 1,000. Ladies Pro settling a touch better than midfield. Testy Pharaoh's outside of it and picking up ground. Lucifer's Lady in behind those when they leave the back is Lynchpin. The last trio back there, they did include Peaceful Ruler, Like Clockwork, and last is Spellborn. At the 700 now along the side, Media Mogul with a tight hold here in front leads the way. Snuck a length in front of Bannard. God's Rapture 3 deep on the course. Back on the inside here at the 450, Jimmy Angel, Quokka Rocker saved up for one go at them. Over on the outside then Testy Pharaoh followed by Lynchpin. Ladies Pros back in the middle here and about to try and work a way through some congestion. They race to the 300 now. Bannard on the outside. Join Media Mogul. God's Rapture a length and a half away. Quokka Rocker, Testy Pharaoh, Lynchpin down the outside. He's zigging and zagging with Ladies Pro. And further back on the outside is Peaceful Ruler. Over on the rail, Bannard joined by Quokka Rocker. Peaceful Ruler, Lynchpin is a great go. Oh, Ladies Pro getting through. Ladies Pro has been able to find a needle eye opening for Pike down on the inside. And in a race that changed scene dramatically, might have got it. Maybe Ladies Pro in an absolute blanket finish. Didn't know where to look. On the outside, Peaceful Ruler, Quokka Rockers there. Right also there in the finish was Lynchpin. Behind them, Jimmy Angel, Media Mogul, Like Clockwork, Spellborn, Testy Pharaoh, Lucifer's Lady, and God's Rapture. Well, how about that? Pike, you could see him, and it was almost a case of deja vu from the last run where she got snagged up in awful trouble, but somehow Pike was able to find a late split. It was right at the 11th hour. Peaceful Ruler will be second home, and it's a battle for third. There's 3, maybe even 4 of them there. As we stand by for the placings, it changed so quickly. You could see he was back behind them following God's Rapture, who wasn't taking him into the race. He tried to come off its heels. He had nowhere to go on the back of Testy Pharaoh. Rode a bump there with Like Clockwork. Had to go right back to the inside and find the back of Bannard. And then somehow or other, in a very, very theatrical finish, the conclusion was certainly completed by Pike. Amazing win. Ladies Pro would have been a good thing beaten if she had gone down, but somehow miraculously he's got her there over number 1 Peaceful Ruler. We wait for the other details to come to hand. The winners by D'Argento, trained by Grant and Delana Williams, probably shaking their heads in disbelief that she's got home after all of that. They would have been biting their nails down to the quick, I'd say, as they would no doubt looking on as Pike was trying to find a run anywhere that he could. And it was only at the 11th hour that he did. Now here are the minor placings coming to hand. It's 2 from 1, 5 Lynchpin, holding third, 4th 4 Spellborn, 5th 8 Quokka Rocker. Incredible finish in 125 neat, 35.68 the back end sectional. A long head, a long neck were the margins. Race 6, the Mrs. Max Handicap. 1600, number 3, Noble Connection comes out. They'll go at 10 after 3 as we head down there to Lockie in the yard. That was something else. It was a heck of a finish.
What a finish that was, Darren. Ladies Pro, she was a good thing beat if she didn't get the job done. Willie Pike, he spent the large majority of the straight going up backsides, but in the end he had the filly when it mattered most, Scotty, and once she got just an ounce of clear air, didn't the filly show a super turn of foot? Yeah, a bit of a heart rate check on all the punters out there that thought that she would get the job done here today. Lockie, she has, but it wasn't easy viewing in the end. She's done a wonderful job, the filly herself, to pick herself up with no momentum and sprint through that gap late. Gee, it got ugly there yet again. I must admit, at the top of the home straight from the, say, 400 to the 150, I thought, not this again. We've seen this movie already, and it was ugly 14 days ago, but it looked like it was going to be again.
we're in for a great series. We've been saying that the whole way through, be it the Raconteur or the Belmont Guineas or the Belmont Oaks. It's going to be a lot of very good 3-year-olds going head-to-head here today. The runner-up was 6 weeks between runs with 60 kilos. He lost no admirers there in Peaceful Ruler. Like clockwork, never got a crack at them, the filly there. She looks like she'll run 7 furlongs all day long. And there's so many nice types to join the series as well. It's very exciting for Belmont Park to have this level of horse flesh going around at this time of year.
Exactly right, Ladies Pro. It looks like she's clearly going to be the number one seed heading towards a Raconteur Stakes in a few weeks' time, and obviously the ladies involved, they'll be hoping to get the all-important black type aboard her page before she heads towards the Belmont Guineas. And as you said in our preview, Scotty, the team have been very confident that she'll only improve as she stretches out in trip heading towards a mile, much like she did at the back end of last campaign, where she was only beaten by 2.5 lengths by King of Light, and that was only her 3rd start ever in a race, that being in a WA Guineas. But Willie Pike, there he is with Grant Williams, just debriefing on how he got clear aboard Ladies Pro. But I'd love to know Willie's opinion, because my phone, as soon as they crossed the line, just started to blow up with different opinions saying it was a good ride and plenty of people saying it was a bad ride too. He gets the job done, but I'd love to know the thoughts of the Wizard.
I'll ask him, Lockie. I'll put that to him, whether or not it was a good ride or a bad ride. I'm pretty confident he'll say it was a bad ride and that the filly got him out of a world of hurt there. But you could see it in the middle stages. She was 1 out, 2 back. There was a 3-deep line to the outside. He wasn't going to get a lot of wiggle room on straightening, and then in the end she got held up to the point where she was nearly 2nd or 3rd last all of a sudden on straightening. And you could see that both Willie and Cass Martin and I are favourite and second favourite were angling for the same run, and for neither of them it wasn't really there for either of them. Then it was right back to the inside for her, and she's had to sprint hard off a dime, under 59.5 kilos. Willie Pike joins us now to talk about Ladies Pro. How's the heart rate?
Mine's okay, because I don't know, it's just everyone had their eye on me, and there wasn't a lot I could do. I don't feel like there was a decision I could have. Last time round I had a decision to make and I made the wrong one, whereas this time the decisions were out of my hand. Yeah, I'm just glad that she has a good will, as she fronted up to take that gap and got me out of jail.
59.5 kilos too, and no real flow into the race. It's a great win.
Yeah, I don't think she's necessarily one that needs to flow, but certainly doesn't need to be held up quite like that or quite that long. But she is a sure-footed horse, and I do think she enjoys being held together and smothered into the run. But as I said, just not that long. It'd be nice to give her a fair crack and let her win without having to zig and zag.
So if we put a poll up, good ride or bad ride, which way does Willie Pike click?
A winning ride's a good ride. Come on. But nah, honestly, this time I don't feel like there was anything I could do. I didn't have any decisions to make. I made my decision out the barriers to hold a spot closer than where we would probably normally be. Maybe that put me into jail, but I don't know. I went looking here, there and everywhere for a run. We found one eventually, but I don't put that down to a bad ride. I just find that's part of luck in racing. Go back to the last run. Absolutely, that was all me.
First encounter, they look like a pair of nice trials.
They were nice trials. First up mile, I think it's a good move. He just doesn't win a lot. He's always the run of the race. I'm hoping we can shake that stigma and be the winner and just not just the run of the race.
Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
There's Willie Pike. I think that's all that matters. Good ride according to the Wizard. But let's have a look at this market ahead of race 2 at Carnarvon. Weapons Hot is our favourite at $2.70. Catalpa at $4.40 on the full, a $5 chance, and the Coolican King is at $6. Matty, how do you order the 4 out of the second?
Look,